Hello boaters, welcome to Narrowboat Journeys. It's time for another night cruise, I think. It's about 9 o'clock on the 6th of August 2022. We're in the middle of a heat wave and the cats simply refuse to come in during the day. So the only time I could move would be at about 9 o'clock at night when they came in for some food. The sun has just set, and this first part of the video is recorded with the GoPro as normal, but like in a recent night video I did, the GoPro simply can't handle the low light conditions. So in a little while I'll be changing over to time-lapse, which is really the only option I've got to record night scenes properly. So the video playback speed will speed up at that point. Unfortunately, there's no real way around that. Also, you'll notice that when I switch to time-lapse, the colours will seem a bit weird, and that's because the time-lapse camera was actually set up to record visible and infrared light at the time. Since I made this trip, I've recorded several more night cruises where I've played around with the settings and I've sorted out the colours, and the playback speed is smoother and more pleasant to watch, so you'll see them in future videos. So to recap then, we're on the Oxford Canal, on the Knapton Summit, which is a very long stretch of canal with no locks, and I'm moored sort of halfway in the middle of it, and the purpose of this trip is to get a bit closer to Fenny Compton so that I can access the shop. I've decided that I quite enjoy night cruising. Now it's getting a bit dark, so I'm going to switch over to the time-lapse now. You'll notice that the picture gets quite a bit brighter. The trees look quite white and ghostly, and that's because the camera's picking up the infrared. That'll look much more natural as it gets darker. Over to the left there is the moon. As it gets darker, you'll see little white streaks appearing before the camera, and these are flying insects which are illuminated by my boat lights, and because the time-lapse is recording quite long exposures, like up to half a second, that's why they appear as streaks. I'm not far away from Bridge 135, and I did consider stopping here for a moment and then changed my mind. I thought I'll try and get a bit closer to the road. I thought there was a possibility of stopping here by these woods, but then I remembered from Google Maps that there was a patch of reeds and a likely looking place just after them. So I thought, well, I'll just go past these reeds and see if I can stop here. And when I tried to get in, it was too shallow. I couldn't get the boat into the bank properly, so I thought, well, I'll reverse back and try and stop by the woods again. The problem, however, was that along here by the woods was just as bad, if not worse, than it was up at the other end. So I tried getting in a couple of places along here. None of them were any good. So in the end I gave up and decided to carry on and moor up in the next available space that I could find. Having just gone past the reeds, however, I thought I'd give it one last try to stop here, but maybe just a little bit farther on. And that turned out to be okay. So that was lucky. The road is just where those trees are, just ahead by the moon there. You'll see a car headlight go along there in a moment. There it is. So it's very close to the road. We're about a mile or so from Fenny Compton. The next couple of trips I made by boat were also night cruises, and they came out quite a lot better than this one, so stay tuned and you'll see them in due course. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.